Jeff said, is it OK that advice from Boris on coronavirus is squash the sombrero? Now, I'm going to try and explain this using this whiteboard. So basically, what Boris Johnson said yesterday is that the pattern of most pandemics looks like this. Spikes and goes like that. Now, he said that his government's efforts to delay basically to try and delay the peak of the virus. So it won't start here, it'll go up there, it won't be as high, it'll go for a bit longer and go like that. So basically what he said is squash the sombrero, which is what that is. Coincidentally, squash the sombrero is also Donald Trump's foreign policy.
Bit of fun, wouldn't it?
A little bit of fun.
Yeah, I always thought squash the sombrero was a Mexican version of third base.
Is it all going to be Mexican themed? So it's going to be like, if there's an old person in the house, wrap them up like a burrito. You know you've got a temperature if you're the same temperature as a sizzle plate.
I mean, it is possible that it'll go like this and then up for a little bit and then down. That'd be more British, because that's like Ebola. But, of course, Boris couldn't say that because it sounds like Ebola. And what's interesting about all this is you can plot the graph that shows the amount of jokes we make compared to how serious COVID-19 has been. So it kind of looks like this. Now, we started off making jokes about, oh, China's building hospitals really quickly. And then, whoa, it's getting really serious, make some more jokes. And now, basically, as it tails off, it's going to go like that for a little bit. And then eventually we'll get to the point it's so serious we'll wish we hadn't made quite so many jokes. And then we've made a flat cap. So the basic advice from yesterday is this. If you've got a continuous cough or a high temperature, stay at home for 7 days. Only call 111 if your symptoms get worse. If you're elderly, don't go on a cruise, and no matter what, keep washing your hands. And for the moment, that's kind of basically it. Now, the Prime Minister did say that things will definitely get much worse and added many more families are going to lose loved ones. But right now, this is the best way to take the strain off the NHS. How are we feeling about it?
It's weird, because you're expecting him to go the same way as kind of Denmark or Ireland, and it seems like our scientists, we've got some kind of maverick scientists that are going the complete opposite way to the rest of Europe.
Yeah.
And next week they're going to go, shall we all just put the whole population in the O2 and then sweat it out together?
Well, I've kind of been looking at the news this week and I'm started to realise that I'm not going to be able to eat bat anymore. Big thing. Also, the big advice that kind of what's happening at the moment is basically everyone's being told that they've got to work from home.
Yep.
I'll tell you, that's got me worried about Banksy. His mum's just going to be turning around and going, "You've been drawing on the skirting boards again." Get some flash and white off. He's going to be like, "Fuck off,
Does he live with his mum?
In this joke, he does. And he's going to be going, "Fuck off, Mum, that's worth $500,000.
Sorry, I interrupted. That's all right. To pick a hole with one of the issues with Banksy.
Yeah, it's also we're going to be saying to him, and also take that balaclava off, I know who you are. Sorry, mate.
There have been nearly 130,000 global cases. There have now been 11 deaths in the UK so far. And look, a lot of events are being cancelled at the moment. All NBA games in America, all English football games here, even the London Marathon has been cancelled.
Football's gone.
Yeah.
What am I going to talk to taxi drivers about? Please not immigration.
Look, I guess the thing is we just need to listen to the advice we've been given and, most importantly, just help each other through this. Paul said, is it OK for people to be clearing shelves in the supermarkets? Keep calm and think of others. I think it's time for another push on don't be a dick, mate. Look, 2 months ago, some people were saying a no-deal Brexit would be good for Britain because this country needs a bit of blitz spirit. This week, the first whiff of a lockdown, British people all went out and bought 38 rolls of toilet paper each. Literally, I mean, genuinely, I don't know about you guys, there was no toilet paper in my local supermarket this week. Interestingly, no Lemsip either. And that is much harder to wipe your ass with.
You tried, though, didn't you?
I gave it a shot. Yeah, probably should have kept it in the packet. All right, moving on. Tom said, is it OK that the first MP to test positive for the coronavirus is Health Minister? Yes, we have reached the part in the Outbreak movie where the Health Minister gets it. And, in fact, if this was a movie, the Health Minister would be played by Tom Hanks. And this week, the actual Tom Hanks got it.
You know how he got it?
What?
Never share your box of chocolates.
Thing is, now he's in self-isolation. His wife's going to be going to him, "Don't you dare start talking to that volleyball."
So Health Minister Nadine Dorries, who once appeared on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, will now spend the next 2 weeks appearing in Dancing on Isolation. She did say today that she's OK, but confirmed her 84-year-old mother has tested positive. And now this is where it all gets serious, because it's all well and good to say it's only the elderly and those with underlying health conditions that need to worry. But if you replace that with my grandfather and my asthmatic mate could be at risk, it suddenly starts to feel real. You're no longer talking about fictional people. You're talking about David Attenborough and Josh.
Yeah, I'm worried about my... I'm the first person who's ever gone on the dark web to buy a Ventolin puffer. Also, is David Attenborough your granddad?
It turns out, yes. I'm just using a person who's... Anyway. I kind of wish he was, in a weird-ass way. But you're also talking about everyone in my rugby league team, if you're talking about anyone with an underlying health condition. How is this going to affect the elderly is a massive, massive question at the moment, too.
Well, I think that obviously... The one thing old people don't need is another excuse for their kids not to visit them.
Yep.
So that's pretty bad. Actually, speaking of which, if anyone is thinking of leaving me anything in their will, if I can have your loo roll?
Look, it is important to ring your nan. Check on any elderly people that you know. And just in the last couple of hours, I've read that the Everton Football Club have been checking in on elderly members of their community and arranging access to emergency food parcels. Like any members of the Everton Football Club, they're just calling them up if they're elderly or vulnerable and seeing if they need food. Aston Villa are donating all the food that was prepared for the games this weekend to homeless charities. Yep. So lots of people are getting out there and helping elderly people. And if you can, just do what you can. Maybe, I don't know, do we need alternative programming for over 75s if they have to stay at home now?
Yeah. You know, do you remember the Masked Singer?
Yeah.
They could do the Masked Doctor. So your doctor turns up, they're wearing a mask, and you're like, who is it? And then it's Alan Johnson or something like that.
Maybe just a TV show of someone that looks like your grandchild. Do you know what I mean? You just turn it on and they're just looking into the camera going, yeah, right, She didn't. All eyes turned to America this week to see what Donald Trump was going to do, and it turned out he did what he always does. He called the virus foreign and he shut down the borders. The big problem for Donald Trump is he can't pick a fight with coronavirus. He can't call it names or get into a Twitter spat with it. And if he did, he'd probably call it Kafifi-19. A few hours ago tonight, Donald Trump held a press conference to announce a national emergency, which he then described as, and I quote, 2 very big words. This from the man who last week said it will go away. What was really interesting was a journalist tonight asked him about he closed down, his administration closed down the pandemic centre, the people who would be working on this in America. He basically said, it wasn't me. He said it wasn't me.
Who's the spokesman? Shaggy?
And there's an amazing moment where if you watch it, he then turns to the people behind him and says, I mean, I could ask who it was, and you see Mike Pence go, no, don't.